Fender Stratocasters. Okay. The innovation of which there were many with this guitar is the synchronized tremolo. It's what Leo Fender called it, and we know it as vibrato or whammy bar. Okay. It allows you to do vibrato instead of with just one note with a chord. Okay. And when you get a Stratocaster that's made in Mexico or an American standard, the bridge is not flush against the body. When the bridge is flush against the body, you can only go in one direction, down, and that's not true vibrato. You need to be able to waver the note, which means you need to pull up. All right? And these bridges are about 1/8 of an inch off of the body, as set from the factory on the Made in Mexico standard Stratocasters and on your American series guitars. So when people see that sometimes or notice it for the first time, it's like, well, how does this thing stay in tune? Well, outside of Van Halen type dive bombs, your Stratocaster will stay in tune when you're using the tremolo the way I think Leo Fender designed it to be used, and it's just another way of being expressive on the guitar. All right, and how do we keep it in tune? Well, with my Stratocasters that are non-locking, right? First thing that you need to do are stretch out the strings. All right, so you've got your guitar strings tuned up to pitch, stretch them out. I usually do it right at the 12th fret. That's the midpoint between here and here. All right, so we went down quite a bit. After we have successfully stretched out each string, being very, very gentle with the high E because you don't want to break it, you've now eliminated at least one of the main factors that can make this guitar go out of tune when you're using the tremolo. As you can see, staying in tune just fine. That's pretty good, all right? So the other factor that you can address with this guitar, after stretching out the strings and making sure everything is seated properly, is using one of several commercially available lubricants that are designed to reduce the amount of friction in the nut slot, which is the main point of contact between the string where you're playing and right here, obviously, right? Some nuts are made of materials that introduce less friction than others. But on every one of the guitars that I have that are non-locking trem, no matter what the nut material is, I use lubricant. A little goes a very long way. And after you stretch out the strings and you introduce this lubricant into each nut slot, thereby reducing as much as possible the amount of friction at this point of contact, the string will slide easily and will not bind up. So if you're ever tuning your guitar and you hear that high-pitched ping, you know, that's actually the sound of the string getting caught in that nut slot. So by stretching out the strings, introducing a lubricant into each nut slot, you are really doing basically everything you can do and everything you need to do to make sure that the guitar stays in tune when using the tremolo. In a tasteful, subtle, expressive way.
Hey, I'm Brett from More Music Guitars.
And I'm Ed from the same place.
You should subscribe to this YouTube channel because it's basically awesome.
Informative, fun, educational, fun for the whole family.
Most videos are for the whole family, but just give it a shot.
Yeah.
What can you lose?
Yeah.